I'm Leo Reyes Rayon,
And I'm Josh Glazer.
and today we are still in the NFC East. We are on to Philadelphia. On to Philadelphia. The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles without Nick Foles, with the great Carson Wentz leading the helm. And today we are going to be talking about y'all's draft needs. Now, everybody knows that you need a receiver. You know what I mean? Me and Josh were just talking about, what kind of receiver. It seems to be evident that y'all are really, or the front office or whoever the hell puts out this information, likes, they need a fast guy. Y'all like heavy sets with tight ends. Y'all have a bunch of physical receivers. Deshaun Jackson, you know, great player, but is in the end of his career, and the name that is popping up a lot is Henry Ruggs. So, do you think with the first pick, with their first round pick, do you see them taking Ruggs first at 21?
Yeah, if he's there. I mean, they've kind of been unpredictable with who they draft, so I think this may be a lot of smoke they're blowing, but who knows? I mean, I think you look at their defense, their offense, really the defense too.
Mm-hmm.
They lack team speed. I think
Right.
that's why they got rid of Malcolm Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
They thought they could add more speed in his place, and they couldn't. They don't want to pay him.
Yep.
That's another position they need possibly, but with wide receiver, a guy like Ruggs can kind of be a insurance for when Deshaun gets hurt, and it's only a matter of time. But if they go later, they say Ruggs isn't there, and they don't go speed in the first round, they guys like KJ Hamler from Penn State and Denzel Mims from Baylor.
Right.
Their record last year was pretty good compared to how many injuries they had. They were 9-7. Somehow they had issues. They just couldn't separate, and they just made Carson Wentz's job really hard. So, not sure. I guess Carson Wentz is their guy, so they just need to just keep him healthy and try to make his job as easy as possible. The picks they have are 21, 53, 58, and 103, so they've got 4 top 100. They can add 4 quality players. Last year I said they were 9-7. Besides wide receiver, I think linebacker is a big need. They have guys that can kind of fit the scheme and kind of get by, and Gary, and they signed Jatavius Brown to play in the pass downs. But they need better young guys that can come in and kind of do everything, so they don't have to keep yawning. Keep moving guys in and out. A guy like Jordan Brooks or a guy like Hakeem Davis-Gaither are both faster guys that can kind of play in multiple situations. And then after they go linebacker, I would go another receiver, whether there's another big guy, just someone else that can stretch the field, someone else that can help Carson Wentz not have to sit around and get killed every play.
Right.
Or hand it off to Sanders, which isn't a bad idea, but
He's nice. Yeah, he's a good
so
player.
much you can give to a running back before he starts breaking down.
Yeah. And so another thing that I feel like we have to talk about too, because before that trade, I would have said corner, but they just got Darius Slay. So, who can play? Who's a good player? Speed, and as to the thing that we was talking about, which is speed. He's a fast corner. He makes plays on the ball. So yeah, I see them. I saw them also talking about safety. I see them. Just adding overall team speed. Another thing that I was thinking about also is the offensive line. The offensive line with Jason Peters. Kind of getting older. Lane Johnson is. I know like O linemen can play forever, but there's nothing wrong with having depth. And when you think about the team that they were when they won the Super Bowl, they had a hell of a lot of offensive line depth and a hell of a lot of defensive line depth. So I think that I could also see them at some point going O line. You know what I mean? And another guy that a receiver that I see nobody really talking about now, and I don't know how far he's gonna drop, but he's a Texas guy, or at least he played for school in Texas, and his name is James Proche or Proche. Have you checked him out at all? James Proche, you know, he's like 6 feet, probably about, I want to say about at least 200 pounds. He kind of reminds me of James Washington a little bit from the Pittsburgh Steelers. You know, I mean, he can be there. You know, he's a slot guy. You know, if they go, yeah, I mean, see, like they're in an interesting position because we know that Zach Ertz can play. We know that Goddard can play. You know what I mean? So they have two good tight ends. We know that when healthy, Alshon Jeffries is a beast. You know what I mean? When healthy, Deshaun Jackson played amazing. If you add Henry Ruggs, you know what I mean, and then maybe possibly another guy that is fast and can move, you know what I mean, can, you know, or you can go like, you know, Denzel Mims, depending on how far he falls, and you know what I mean. If you have Ruggs and you have another decent receiver that can play in the slot or outside, they probably will have one of the most talented offenses in the league if healthy. You know what I mean? So, you know, they have a lot of different ways that they can go, and I
Yeah,
think that
the thing that keeps on getting forgotten is at their peak, Carson Wentz is a really good quarterback.
yeah,
He's got people around him when he can push the ball down the field, and we can play that in the offense the way that they designed it. They do a really good job at developing their passing concepts and multiple level passing and putting a lot of stress on defenses, especially zone. So there's proof that if you get the players there, it will happen. So there needs to be a higher level positivity. That's why I have them doing better than the Cowboys, because I assume that they're going to address those issues. Now, on defensively, I don't know how they're going to replace Malcolm Jenkins. I think they're underrating his absence. I'm really excited about him going to the Saints.
right.
So we'll see what they do with that. It could be another position they add, but they seem to not value, besides a guy like Slade, they haven't really drafted safety high. They traded for Slay, obviously, but they gave him a bunch of money. He's basically a free agent pickup. With safety wise, they usually take it from other people and just recycle them. They do that for a lot of their defense. They seem to draft more for offense
Mm-hmm.
in the first round, but we'll see. It's gonna be a good year for Philly. I think they go 10-6, 11-5. What say you?
Um, I mean, I like the talent that the Cowboys have. I think there will be some hell games between the two, but obviously, you know, what I mean, that coaching staff. I know Frank Reich is gone, but they have Doug Peterson. They've proven that they can win. You know what I mean? And I mean, like whether or not Cowboys fans really want to admit it, like it's like you said, Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is the best quarterback in that division.
Yes.
Last year, you know, what I mean, he came off of ACL and he came off fast, like he was rushing back to play. I think that this year he has
Off
off
season.
season, a full off season. You know what I mean? And I think that they're gonna get him weapons because that's what you do when you have a franchise quarterback. You put weapons around him, and they have shown that they are willing to do that. So I think that they will go 11-5. I think that they will win the division. Probably, if I had to gamble on it, they will. Um, just because I feel like they have less holes than the Cowboys and their quarterback is better. So I'm gonna say 11-5. Um, Philly fans have a lot to be, look forward to. Like I mean, I mean, I'm not gonna say they can win the Super Bowl, but if they stay healthy and they draft well this year and they
Yeah,
can,
they have ability to get hot like they did a couple of years ago and win the Super Bowl.
yeah,
It simply comes down to, can Wentz stay healthy, and he hasn't proven that he can stay healthy yet. But here's to being hopeful. He's got a high level of potential.
Right.
He's proven it too. Like before he got hurt a couple of years ago, he was playing at MVP level, which
True.
is not blowing smoke. He was legit.
Like I think he threw like 29 touchdowns and like 2 interceptions. Like he was going crazy. He was yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes. So yeah, man.
Eagles.
Yep. Hey, y'all, like and subscribe, man. We hope y'all enjoyed the content. We have a lot of new stuff coming out, and stay tuned, man. We're on
to New York.
Bill Belichick. All right, y'all. Peace, man.